Well, we are in the heart of making ketchup for our freezer challenge video. And I thought, what better time than to break out from the vault of Hickorycroft Farm my ketchup making recipe. So this is a video that is going back to when we first started filming on YouTube. But I do think it is full of worthwhile information, and if nothing else, you'll get a giggle at just how different we do things now. Hey guys, it's a rainy evening, and I decided I was going to start working on a batch of tomatoes for ketchup for tomorrow. So I need 24 pounds of tomatoes, preferably Romas, but I'm going to be mixing because it's what I've got out of the garden. So I have my tomatoes here. These are ones that I grabbed out of the garden the other day before we thought it might frost. And it did frost, so I'm glad that I did that. So I got a sink full. I'm betting it's around 24 pounds, but I'm still going to core them and wash and core them. One thing that I would say about canning is that to remember is everybody develops their own method of doing things. I make videos of how we do it. That doesn't mean it's the right way or the wrong way or the only way. It's just how it works for us. And I think everybody develops their own way. It's the next morning, and I had all the 24 pounds of tomatoes chopped up, ready to go through the food mill. And so I'm getting the other stuff ready for my recipe. So for this recipe, you need to have roughly 3 cups of really pureed onion. And we also have in there a hot pepper. So we're going to puree that up, get that cooking in the big pot for a little bit, and start milling our tomatoes. So there you can kind of see, if I tip it a little bit there, we're pretty pureed up. So as you can see with the food mill, you've got your tomatoes chopped up, ready to go. Move them out of the way for a second. So you pop them in there. You've got a little plunger, which you can push them down into the little fancy hole. And you just spin, and there it comes out there. And the extra bits, the seeds, skins, that sort of thing, come out there. Now, I do run that through one more time, just because there's usually still some pulp in those, and that gets it even a thicker product. I had 25 pounds, which was this bowl and this bowl full of tomatoes, heaping full. And I'm about 10 minutes in, and we're almost finished, but I'm getting a little bit concerned, as you can see, tomato sauce everywhere, that I'm not going to fit it all in my pot. It's a pretty big pot. I mean, there's my hand in front of it. So it's it's about a 10-inch deep pot, I would have said. All right, so we are to the long waiting point somewhat. Just have to add in our spices and the rest of the ingredients, and then it's just a case of letting her simmer down. So my pot is boiling away. That's been boiling for about 20 minutes now. So we're ready to add in our spice bag right there. In there is 3 cinnamon sticks, 3 tablespoons of celery seed, and 4 or 5 whole cloves. So I'm going to put that in, just drop her in. Now, one thing that they do call for in the recipe was whole allspice, which I didn't have. Now, it was 1.5 teaspoons whole allspice was supposed to be in the bag, so I just put 1 teaspoon of allspice directly in of my ground, because that's what I had. Next thing on the list is 3 cups of apple cider vinegar, which we're going to pour in there. At this point, you also want to add a 1/4 cup of salt. I use pickling salt, and 1.5 cups of sugar. We're going to show you a little trick on measuring your product when you're boiling it down for canning or any other type of recipe. In this particular video, I'm making ketchup, and you need to boil it down by half. So this is a great little trick to show you when you're at the halfway point. So what I did was I took my handy dandy chopstick and dipped it in, and then I put the elastic band at the top so I knew the depth in my pot. And what I'm going to do is, in probably an hour or so, I'm going to come back, dip that in again, and see where we're at. There's my little pot. As you can see, we're about halfway boiled down. We used our handy dandy chopstick to mark whether we were halfway. And there you can see I bubbled it down a little bit more than the 2/3 that I would normally do. I did go closer to the half, and I think we're finally there. So my jars are ready to come out of the oven, so it's time for canning, which is great because it's just about time to do chores, and that's the day gone. This is how things roll. There's my little pot. As you can see, we're about halfway boiled down. Here, I will just show you here, they say to do, if it mounds on the spoon, which that is definitely mounding. So I think we're ready to go. So we'll jar that up and come back, show the final product, and then it's time to go out and do chores. The day is done. Chores are done. I'm back in the house. I just wanted to kind of do a quick wrap up about my ketchup. It did make 12 jars, and so 6 liters, which is what I had thought I was going to get. I had just under 12 liters in the pot, so we did cook it down by half. A little bit warm still, but nice consistency in there, I think. Basically, I can only do water bathing 10 at a time in my pot. So 2 of them I did not process, which they will be eaten first and put in the fridge. And I just wanted to also mention the water bathing was 20 minutes, not 25 like I had mentioned. I suppose doing 25 is not going to hurt you either, but just wanted to clarify that. Anyways, have a great night.